Hi everyone, and this is another edition of Insightful Moment. My name is Jare Tiamiyu. We'll continue the line of our political discussion, and it has to do with the candidates that are vying for the ticket of the All Progressives Congress. You will recall that we have spoken with a member of the Omooba Group. We had a member of the Omooba Group. Now we will also be looking at another group. What exactly do they have? And how confident are they of securing their tickets of the APC? And if they do, what are they going to be telling the people of Osun State? We all know that they have a bigger election facing them, and that is the August 8th, 2026 election, which is just about 10 months out of this time now. Today we'll be switching our gear to the camp of Omooba Dotun Babayemi, on ODB, as we all know him. And today I will be speaking with Mr. Emmanuel Monyeh. Mr. Monyeh was the chairman of the defunct Atunto Group that moved into the APC sometimes in 2023. Mr. Monyeh, it's nice having you in our studio, sir.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Let me start from here. How has been the journey? I can say that your group has been on the street for 4, 5, 6 months now. You have been moving across all the nooks and crannies of the state. And then without sounding immodest, your principal has been given the accolade of being the only aspirant that is meeting with the people at the wards, at their villages, at different towns across the state. How has been the journey so far?
Well, the journey has been hectic, but I think it's very, very rewarding in the sense that you get to meet with the actual people across the state. It's not a question of just sitting down somewhere and asking people to go and bring people from the different wards without knowing what goes on in those places. Actual voting goes on in the various units and wards of the state, not at the state level. So bringing people into Osogbo for us, just like a jamboree, which we are not interested in. We actually want to deal directly with the people, see where they live, know the problems they have, so that even eventually if we get a ticket, we'll be able to link up their requests with what the government has to do for them. Not for the government to think for them, but what we have witnessed on first hand. That is why we are going around, and it's not been very easy. It's very tasking, it's very grueling, and very hectic. Going around 332 wards is no child's play. It's no child's play in terms of human, on the toll on human beings, on the toll on the vehicles, on the toll on the aspirants, because we call them candidates. We don't have the candidates yet. We only have an aspirant. But what we are doing is not really campaigning. What we are doing is trying to resuscitate the party, re-energize the followership at the ward level. You realize that most of the time when elections are concluded, people tend to sit in the state capitals and decide on what they want to do for those in the rural areas. But even from my own first-hand experience now, I've seen that there are a lot of potentials in this state waiting to be harnessed. And we know there is a common recurring request by people that we are going to meet, asking us for rural roads, which I think should be the priority of most of normal governments. Aesthetics matter, but the aesthetics will not matter without an actual filling of the stomach. It's just like when you talk of the biblical times, you say you are cleaning the outside of the bell without cleaning the inside. And when you talk of Osun is mostly an agrarian community. You really need to go around the various wards to see that we have enough farmland, but the roads are bad. So what is the essence of having good roads in urban cities whereas we are not able to feed ourselves? The only way that you can develop a state, especially in this country, is by developing the agriculture and the rural infrastructure. You cannot talk of industrialization without having enough and excess production of the raw materials required for industrialization. what we are doing now is going around, seeing the actual needs of the people and communicating directly with them. It's what you call democratic centralism, where you build a pyramid from the base, not from the top down.
So if I may ask you now, I will pick it from the area that you just said. In some of the pictures that we have seen from your movement, I will say that we have been to different communities with bad roads. So if I may ask, what is the priorities of most dwellers of these villages and rural areas across the state? What is their biggest priority?
In fact, you just nailed it. Their biggest priority is roads, accessibility. Accessibility to farmlands, accessibility to markets. Roads, roads, roads. That is the major complaint of the people.
So what is the message that you, as a group now, what message are you giving them?
Well, in the first instance, we cannot promise anything yet because we are not yet the candidate of the party. We are only aspirants. An aspirant that is trying to rejuvenate the party, that is trying to whip up the passion of the populace at the grassroots. So we cannot actually promise, but we have noticed with pain their pains. We share the pains, and we hope that if we get to participate in government, we will try and do everything possible to ameliorate the problems facing them.
So if I may now ask you, what exactly is that thing that you think actually stand out Omooba Dotun Babayemi against every other, about 11 of them? I mean, there are 12 persons vying for that ticket now. What do you think is the major selling point of Omooba Dotun Babayemi?
You see, our recurring message when we go around the various campaigns is that there are 13 aspirants today on the platform of the APC. There are 13 aspirants, and each of the aspirants is eminently qualified to rule and govern the state. Each one of them. Even the list that you do in your own ranking will be better than what we have today. So when we say what stands Dr. Babayemi out, it's not really what stands him out, but as a representative, a symbol of a progressive government that is going to come in. That is exactly the first thing. Number two is the empathy. The empathy with the people, his humility, his philanthropic nature. Those are the things that I believe stand him out. And he's actually very, very intelligent. He's a lawyer of over 35 years standing. And he has been in the corporate world, both nationally and internationally. He has worked in London underground. He has worked in the US. He has a Fort Knox. I mean, these are things that you can reference. He employs over 5,000 people. And he already knows how to govern them properly. If you ask anybody, they have a direct feel of somebody who is going to come in to govern them. They have that direct feel. It's not an imperial majesty. He's a prince, quite all right, but he's also attuned to the yearnings of the people his people want to govern.
So let me now go to the political aspect of it now. Some people are saying that Omooba Dotun Babayemi joined the party about 2 years ago. Officially, the Atunto Group moved into the APC in 2023. Somebody that just came is trying to, have the biggest position within the state. So what do you think?
Let me correct that misconception first.
Okay.
He did not just join. He joined them from AD, and he was with them in APC. He was with them in APC. He's not just a new joiner.
Okay.
That's the first thing. So the most important thing is freedom of association and the right to pursue your interest within that freedom that you have. So he's leaving the APC temporarily at a particular time, must have been as a result of some power play and grievances within the party, but he has retraced his steps. He has come back to his foundation. He is an actual foundation member of the AD.
So now you think that since he has returned about 2 years ago, if he is one of those people that should be considered for governorship tickets of the APC?
Why not? I mean, every member that joins, including the present governor, also switched at a particular time. So there are no new joiners. You have membership of a party, not new joiners or old joiners.
Okay, sir, we'll go on a very short break, but when we are back, I want us to look at the politics. There have been some intricacies, some things that are looking like crisis within the whole Progressive Congress, CAMS now, having to attack each other on different things. And then the issue of party reward system that has become a very big elephant in the room, because many of the aspirants are saying that we have to look at this. Some aspirants are saying that no, it is not your turn to look at it. It is whoever becomes the candidate of the party that will look at it. So we'll discuss all those when we come back from this very short clip. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Yeah, I come back from that very short break, and as I said, we are discussing the politics of Osun, as we know that in about 10 months now, the people of the state will be electing a new governor. And the whole Progressive Congress, as we speak now, have 12 persons vying for the governorship ticket of that party. And we have been speaking with Mr. Emmanuel Monyeh. Mr. Monyeh is of the Atunto Group, but the group of Omooba Dotun Babayemi. Mr. Monyeh, thank you so much for staying with us.
Thank you.
So now let me look at it. There have been some issues here and there about insinuation about crisis within the party. In fact, recently, I believe that you will have seen that a group went to the party secretariat and they were saying nobody is trying to remove the chairman of the party. Some are saying that some people are trying to attack the leader of the party, which is a former governor of the state. What exactly do you deduce from all this?
You see, politics actually is the ultimate test of citizenship. When you talk of politics, you talk of the struggle and contest of aspirations. There is no single position in this world that is not attractive to everybody. Even the position on which you sit today is also attractive to those who are working for you. So the point is that when you have a contest, it is a friendly contest. You can have twins and they belong to different houses within a school for inter-house sports. You don't disown them because they ran a race against each other. The two of them will run their race, and whoever emerges will be congratulated, whereas the loser will be But the point is that you have to stretch every form of imagination. You have to question everything. That is the test of citizenship. You have to ask, where I am today, do I get what I deserve? Everybody wants to get the same thing, but the same thing cannot be given to everybody. So it is in the course of that you say there is a crisis. There's no crisis. There is no crisis, there is a contest. And it's the amplification of whispers. And if you don't resolve the amplification of whispers, you only have the quietness of the graveyard, which is not politics. Politics is about tribulations, problems, and solutions.
If I may ask you, some people are insinuating that Omooba Dotun Babayemi is, having some battle to fight with the present Governor Ademola Adeleke. Is there anything personal with Governor Adeleke?
How can there be anything personal? There is nothing personal in politics. Nothing absolutely personal in politics. The only thing you can talk of in personality problems is maybe a financial deal, or maybe adulterous relationship.
They were together. They ran for the ticket of the party together, and then it was in the court up to Supreme Court.
Yes, you see, the point is that when you say there is a contest, you try it at every level. You try everything at every level of the judicial system until when it is resolved. It is nothing personal about it. It's politics. And the crux of the matter then was that the rightful delegates at the wrong venue, the wrong delegates at the right venue. But you see, politics has a way of playing itself out. It depends on how you want to interpret it and how it suits the people. So there's nothing personal, absolutely nothing personal with the governor. The present governor is an amiable person at heart. He has a very childish attitude. He doesn't quarrel with anybody. And Omooba Dotun Babayemi has no personal grudge whatsoever with Ademola Adeleke.
But what he have now is that he wants to dislodge him from Okevia Government House.
Wanting to resolve something somebody doesn't mean that you have a personal problem. What you are saying is that you are doing this thing right, but can do it better.
Okay, now let me talk about that. What exactly are those things that you think this government is not doing right that you want to correct?
Now, you see, if we have to start with your first question, you asked me what the people in the rural areas are asking for.
Yes.
Your priorities are quite different from my own priorities. Some people might believe in urban renewal and we might believe in rural renewal. We might believe that before you can talk of industrializing a state, you must be able to produce the raw materials for the industrialization. Let's assume that you want to produce gari, for example, and you have a 100-ton capacity gari processing factory. And all the cassava that is going to come from the whole state is just 100 tons. That means that you have enough cassava only for 1 day production. What happens to the machine after that? So the most important thing for us to do is that we believe that, yes, there can be urban renewal, but it should go alongside with rural renewal. So that is where we might differ in our approach to governance. The other thing is we want to run an open administration, an inclusive administration, which we feel is not being done presently. It is good to pay salaries, especially when you have enough quantum. In fact, the removal of the petroleum subsidy and the forest subsidy has made states more financially buoyant. And in fact, the major advantage of removal of subsidies is that it has reduced our domestic debts. That is what the states are enjoying. For example, if I was owing 300 naira before, and my allocation comes down to 1,500 now, it means I can pay you that 300 naira. Your own 300 naira remains, but the value I'm getting for it is already 1,500. That is 5 times what I was owing you. So we feel that there is enough revenue coming in. The revenue that has come in nominal factors now, in nominal figures, are at least 5 times what was coming in. What has come into this state in the last 2-3 years is more than what came into the last APC administration for the past 12 years, cumulatively.
So you are saying that the Adeleke administration has received more than what the 12-year of APC government got?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, you can see the FAC allocations. They are public figures. They are not.
Yes.
They are not manufactured by me. You say that states are getting more, local governments are getting more. An average local government now gets about 1 billion naira per month. If you have that kind of money coming in, do you have up to 100 million naira investment in each of the local governments? The answer is no. So we feel that there's something systemically wrong. There is no accusation of corruption. It could be a misalignment of policy and implementation. It could be as a result of perhaps the civil servants not doing what the policymakers want done, or maybe a deliberate policy to just play to the gallery. So what we are saying is that we want to do things separately, differently.
Let's look at it from the sectors now. Some people are of the opinion that when you talk of infrastructure, this government believes it has done better than the 12 years administration of the past government. Do you also share the same opinion with them?
There was an analogy I made initially. I talked of the parable of the Pharisees, that you wash the outside of your bell and leave the inside. I said you can go ahead and repair all the roads in the urban areas. What economic value do they have? What economic values do they have? So we want to look at it from the point of view of the cost-benefit analysis of those infrastructure that you say you are putting on in urban areas. I want to give you an example. Why I like the aesthetics of the Okefia Bridge, it has changed the aesthetics of the place. But what economic activity goes on that road? because you are talking of infrastructure. The same quantity of money that was spent on that could have been spent in giving people, teaching them how to fish by making sure that they also have access in rural areas. The travel time from Lameko to Okefia, even at the height of the construction disruption in activities, was never more than 30 minutes. But if you travel from here to Kere in Ife South, you will see the kind of roads that they have. In fact, you might have seen visuals of where we find Omooba himself coming.
Yes, where you were pushing, Omooba himself was pushing, and people were like,
that is even in Kere, in Elisha East, where we also went. Even from one primary school to go to the main road, we had to push the vehicle. You know, the point is that whether we like it or not, this is an agrarian community.
These are the people that are producing for those of us in the city. So
when you are talking of infrastructure must take care of them first. Number two is that most of the time you find women saying that they have been neglected in the scheme of things. Don't forget that most of our farm households are made up basically of women. And when you get there again, you see their children, their youths who don't have connections in urban areas looking for jobs. Why don't we recreate our villages and keep our people in those places? So when you talk infrastructure, you have to look at it vis-a-vis, is it the aesthetics we are interested in, or in boosting economic activities?
Lastly, I have two other areas that I want us to touch. The first one is that some people are saying, since President Tinubu has become president, there has not been any real intervention or infrastructural development to the southwestern part. If we take the ongoing coastal road away, the southwest does not have road. Remember, sometimes in the month of August, even the Ekiti State had to send everybody to geography class before we can access Ekiti. And you know, as we speak now, people are lamenting about the state of Ilesha-Ibadan Expressway and some other critical federal government projects. We have not seen them. What would be your opinion on that?
I want to believe that President Tinubu was not elected president of the Southwest. He was elected president of the Federal Republic.
But he's one of us here.
The point is that until we get to a situation where we are no longer nepotistic in our approach to governance, we can never have all-round development. You have just mentioned, they said, take away this coastal road. Do you know how much that coastal road costs?
But some people are saying that, don't you think, as you have just said in the issue of Okefia, don't you think the money we are going to spend on the coastal road is enough to fix a lot of roads, federal roads in this southwestern part, even go beyond southwest to the southeast, south, and some other parts of the country?
You see, there are different ways of looking at things. The coastal roads connects over 5 states. It connects over 5 states.
Yes.
It's just not one state. And when you look at the roads themselves, don't forget that the Southwest, for example, has its own peculiar geographical problems that affects the roads. The Ekiti and Co you are mentioning belong to the rainforest zone. The rainforest zone have heavy rains. The kind of materials that we use in making our roads are easily subjected to erosion. It is not something you can compare with those in the savannah area of the north, where the cost of construction is less. And the weathering effect, weathering means the breakdown of rock. The weathering effect on the materials used for road construction are not as intense as the weathering effects on the road construction in the southwest. And again, don't forget that it is, when you talk of economics, it's the prioritization and allocation of the meager resources that you have. If you have finished distributing that, you can distribute your roads based on population, based on the landmass. Those are the things that will determine your choice of repair of roads. To the best of my knowledge, the Ibadan road that you mentioned now, Ibadan, I am quite sure you have also read, like I have read, that the contract has been awarded.
Yes, we read it around January. Yes. We are in September now.
The period between a contract award, procurement processes, is not a question of just the president saying, okay, go and make that road, then the money goes out. No.
So we should be waiting for about 1 year.
You should wait. There are procurement processes. You have to know that there are carryover projects from other budgets. We have not even finished implementing those projects.
2024 budget is still
it is possible. Yes, when you have a road of 100 kilometers, you cannot finish it within one budget cycle. It's not possible. When you have, there are some capital projects that you cannot finish within one budget cycle, which means that they have to be carried over. So it is not something too scientific. It's not rocket science.
So are you aware of the state of the road now?
Of the
state of that Ife-Ibadan expressway?
Yes, it did not get to that stage in one single day.
Okay.
It didn't get there in one single day.
You know, we had an APC government 8 years. This is another one that has spent 2 years.
Yes.
So if we look at it, 10 years, maybe it got there to that stage in the last 10 years of the APC federal government.
A federal road.
Yes, that's why I say 10 years of APC government.
Yes. You see, that road is one of the very bad roads, one of the many bad roads in the country. And I think there have been some remediation efforts on the roads at different times. There was a time sections were awarded maybe to Sukuk. If you are getting to Ikiro.
Yes, like about 3 or 4 kilometers.
There are people who are supposed to have been maintaining those roads. And don't forget that a lot of things contribute to the breakdown of roads. The movement of heavy traffic that was not planned for. The kind of rains that you have, the drainages, these are old constructions. They are old constructions, and I'm sure that with time, that road will be repaired.
Okay, lastly, before we go on this interview, I would like to ask you, it seems the local government crisis in Osun is just coming with another dimension virtually every time, and now you realize that before it was the issue of who is the authentic chairman, the court here, the court judgment there and there. And now the latest twist in this matter is the release of the fund. And the opposition and the ruling party in the state and the government have continued to accuse you, the people in the EPC, of being behind this crisis. Why are you behind the crisis, and then holding on to the governance at the grassroots?
You see, when you have a court case, you, without prejudging a matter that is before the court for adjudication, you must realize that a court case runs through a cycle. That's why they say the wheels of justice grinds slowly but surely. The beginning of the matter was that they said that the first elections that were held under the APC were not properly conducted, that you were supposed to have given enough notice, and that there were supposed to have been some party logos and co. The resolution of such a matter is not within the purview of the whims and caprices of an executive. It has to be challenged in court. That case was challenged in the High Court, and they still had the opportunity of appealing and going to the Supreme Court. You did not allow that to happen. You truncated it, which means that you have decided to take over the job of the judiciary. Now, we are now going back to the judiciary to determine if what was done was right or wrong. In the meantime, there is a contention between who are the rightful occupants of the local governments. The AGF and the IGP issued advisories that elections should not be conducted into the local governments as at the time they were conducted. But they went ahead and conducted elections. So how do you now discard the advisory of the chief lawmaker and the chief law enforcer and go ahead and now say that you are resorting to the same rule of law? It is doublespeak. It is doublespeak. You cannot appropriate and appropriate at the same time. So we should allow the courts to adjudicate on this matter. Now they say the monies have been released. And according to the latest reports I read, the AGF and the CBN governor said they have not released it to the personal accounts of the chairman. You say the money has not. The point is that the monies have been released, but the signatories are yet to be determined, and they have not been able to do anything yet about it. So I don't see any controversy. People are just crying over.
So to you now, who are the chairmen of local governments?
As far as I'm concerned, as an APC member, I believe that the APC chairman are the ones who are there.
Is it just about APC member, about what you think is right?
What is right is that, okay, if there is no tenure, the tenure cannot expire, cannot lapse on the 17th of October. Can it? Because what they are saying is that the tenure of those who are there now will automatically lapse on the 17th of October. If there is a subsisting tenure, why don't you allow them to exercise the functions of that tenure within that period? You cannot say that the tenure is going to elapse. Which tenure is elapsing if you don't recognize that tenure?
So what is the way forward if we ask you?
The way forward now is that the case is before the courts. I wouldn't want to prejudge whatever the courts are going to decide, but I know it's going to run its full course in the interest of the whole country and democracy as a whole.
So finally now, I want you to look at this camera and tell, party members of the APC, tell them why you think they should support Omooba Dotun Babayemi at the primaries that we believe that will be held in November.
You see, the truth of the matter is that the APC is a structured party. There are ways that things are done in the APC. The only thing that we are doing is that we are trying to make sure that the APC comes back to government first and foremost, nothing else. Let party members unite behind any member of the party that is chosen as his flag bearer. They will go ahead from there. But there should be no rancor between the party members because the aspirants themselves are not quarreling amongst themselves. They still meet, they interact, they greet each other, they hug each other. Why are supporters going around fighting each other? They don't have to fight. If you cannot cry more than the bereaved. If the bereaved say that they are not bereaved, why are you crying over them? What we have to do as party members is to unite as one indivisible party, strong to fight the next battle on the 8th of August next year.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Monyeh. I want to say that I want to wish you and your principal a very good luck. And we believe that we will continue to monitor what is happening within your party, most especially as you approach the most critical points of this election cycle. And that is the primary that is going to be held sometime in November. I want to say thank you for being part of today's show. My name is Jare Tiamiyu. Bye for now.